all the juice straight from the maker booth. Welcome to the Booth Juice. I would like to welcome a very dear friend of mine to the Booth Juice. She has been one of our makers since the very beginning. She never says no to any of my crazy photo shoot ideas. She's the most amazing mum, wife, and friend. The incredible Lana from Lana Nas Studio.
Thank you for having me and asking me, because I know this is something that you've wanted to do for such a long time.
So long. Like Lana's kind of my creative friend where we just bounce ideas. Sometimes we'll text each other at like 5 a.m.
Yeah, you're like my colleague. If I'm like, I'm not sure about this, will it work or won't it work? Because it's, I'm sort of alone in the business in a way.
Yeah. So in saying that, for people that don't know who you are, do you want to give them a quick rundown on your business and the sort of things that you create?
Yeah, so mainly headwear and accessories is like the main items I make. Yeah. I make them all by myself in my studio, and the wire headband is really my staple, my signature. That's kind of the one that a lot of people come back for once they try it. So that's sort of the leading one that I've been making for the longest time, sort of since the start. Yeah. Trying to expand from there, I guess. Yeah.
And then backtracking even further, can you sort of paint a picture? So obviously you're originally from the Netherlands.
Yeah.
How did you end up in tropical far north Queensland?
It's been a ride. Because it's been 2014.
Yeah.
I left the Netherlands and I said to my mom and dad, I'll be back in 6 months, guys. Don't stress. I always knew I traveled a lot before, but I always knew Australia, I needed more time. And my plan was always like, I'll arrive, travel a bit, work a bit, travel a bit, work a bit. Yeah. I think a lot of people go here with those thoughts. Yeah. So I went, I had at the time you could get an open world ticket. I don't know if you can still do it, but you could set your destinations and then your dates were flexible.
Oh, that's
cool. It was really cool. So I booked it in Amsterdam, Dubai, Melbourne. I had to look this up. And then within that half-year time frame, but I think you had a whole year to change the dates.
Yeah.
And then I had Sydney, New Zealand, Fiji, and then back to Dubai, Amsterdam. I never made it past Australia. So I think I had a sort of a plan of an idea, but I never thought I would still be here. Yeah. Because I arrived, and then quickly when I came to Melbourne, I really liked it because I thought I'll go to Melbourne, maybe do the Great Ocean Road, whatever, and go straight back up the coast. But then I got to the hostel, really, really liked it. There was a lot of people there that stayed for a long time. And so I arrived literally the day after, and the girl at reception was like, hey, we've got a few jobs going. Do you want to work? And I was like, well, I just got here. But I think working is sort of a bit in our DNA.
Oh, for sure.
And I find it hard to say no. And I was like, well, yeah, sure. What is it? And she was like, she sold it to me as you're gonna, the Melbourne Cup. And I was like, yeah, we grew up with horses. I kind of know what it is. Didn't know the scale of it until I got there. And she was like, oh yeah, you're gonna decorate some marquees. And I'm like, oh, that sounds fun.
Cool.
Anyway, I went. And I literally got a spray bottle and a rag and a safety jacket. And those hundreds of chairs you see on the court, I cleaned all of them. So that's sort of,
Bravo.
But you know what? It paid good money. And I met some other girls that were doing the same thing. And I had a great time. And then from there on, after that event, they had something else. And I literally did everything. And it quickly turned into, I'm just going to travel to hey, I can really, save up some money here and do both things. Yeah. So I stayed in Melbourne for a lot longer, and as you stay in a place longer, because for that visa was only 6 months, you can work for one employer. So people that were leaving jobs were sort of passing them on, hey, this is a really good company to work for. Put your resume in there and I will, tell the word with the boss,
Cool.
You're reliable. So I stayed in Melbourne for almost I think I stayed from October I arrived, and I think I left in March. Wow. Which was what? That was not the plan. So I was like, Mom and Dad, it's going to be a little longer than 6 months. And then I thought, well, because you got the 88 days that you can do, which now even this area counts for rural work, but not at the time. Like you had to go like outback.
So what year was this again? Sorry,
2004. Well, just the beginning of 2015.
Right, cool, yep.
I thought, well, if I want to do another year, I'll have to do my farm work. So I thought, okay, I'll do that. And I got onto a cattle station in Queensland. And it was amazing.
Very different to Melbourne Cup.
Very different. Very different. So yeah, I arrived there and like super nice family. And I got in the car. And the plan was I was just looking after, so they had a lot of stations like divided over the family, like in this sort of similar area. But you know, I'm from the Netherlands, so a farm for me is like a dairy farm with a few cows, you know, like even my grandparents had a dairy farm at the time. So I have an idea. Like I am from like in Dutch they call it the polder, which is like the countryside. Okay. So you know we've always had animals, been around animals. Yeah. So
it wasn't completely foreign to you. Like,
no, that's what I thought. But then I got there, and then the host mom, she picked me up from the airport, and my plan was like, what they hired me for, like I replied on a Gumtree ad. Now I'm like, what?
Wow.
Yeah, because
times have changed.
Yeah, I know, because there was like an ad on there, and from there, that's how I got the job.
Wow.
Anyway, so I got there, got in the car, and she was like, oh, can you ride horses? I'm like, well, we grew up with horses, so yeah. And she was like, oh, okay. And I didn't really say anything. And then she was like, do you want to come like muster with us? And I'm like, no idea what this is, but sure. That was sort of my mindset. I'm like, yep, I'll do it. Had no idea what was waiting for me. But it was amazing.
Wow. So you like properly mustered.
Yeah. And it was like, it was really cool because it was normally during the week because she worked full time. Yeah. So I would like do the household. I would look after the animals on the station. Yeah. And then also if they would have to go away, but in the weekends they would often do like not the huge musters where you would go for like, you know, a week, like weeks. It was more like 2 days or a day. Yeah. And then like most of all the women were horseback, and then there was choppers, there was guys on quads, motorbikes. Like it was amazing. It was like hundreds of head of cattle, and you get to places where you would never ever get, and all of that on a horse for me is like, it doesn't get better than
amazing. That. I've even got. I mean, I've got friends that muster and have worked on stations. Even have a friend who I went to school with, and she is now like a mustering helicopter pilot. She's incredible. Which I should find her and get her on the podcast too. Anyway, if you're listening,
it's such a cool and it's a sense of freedom that is like I can see you get addicted to it. So that was, I stayed a little bit longer than I think I had to, because I think it's 88 days. I stayed a bit longer.
I feel like people that know you maybe not very well or whatever would probably not ever expect that you would have done that sort of thing. Or
well, it was funny because I always used to like from a young age I traveled early sort of thing. I was very fortunate I could. And my mom and dad were always okay with it, because I would always get these ideas, and then I would be like, hey mom, and then my mom was already like and she would say ja Lan, which is like yes. And we would always used to watch McLeod's Daughters together.
Oh, of course.
That was like the thing. Even in Europe, very, very popular.
Wow.
And I said to my mom, I was like, hey, I think that I want to do that one day. And my mom was like, sure, honey.
She was like, add that to the list.
And I remember I sat that horse the first time we were riding out the gates, and my host mom and a friend were there, and then I was on the horse. It was sort of like a bit of a trial run, I think, to see how I do. And I was like, oh my God, I made it. You know? So it was sort of like
I love that.
Yeah, so that was amazing. And then, but it's hard work at the same time. It's like, and they don't muck around. So after that, I was like, I need to go for a holiday.
Yeah.
And that's how I got to Port.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a few people from Melbourne that were here that I knew from the hostel there. Yeah. And, you know, it was July, so it was coming into season here, so it was also a lot of work.
Yeah.
So that's how I got here, and I was here for a few months.
Yeah.
And then I actually went home for a little bit. And then I did a road trip with my sister and my parents in South Africa. She lives there. Yeah. And then I was on the trip, and I was like, I gotta go back. Like, I've got that ticket in my pocket. Yeah. I worked hard for it. And I came back here, and that first week when I came back, that's when I met Jimmy.
Wow.
So yeah.
And was that in Port? Like, did
That
you
was in
come
Port.
straight back to Port?
I
when
came straight,
you-
because it was still kind of wet season here, but I really liked the hostel where I was staying.
Yeah.
And I sort of inquired with them, like, hey, do you need anyone for the desk that season?
Yeah.
Because I thought it was it's such a great job. You meet a lot of people, you're kind of at home.
For sure.
And they were like, yep, come back, you can do, like, run that if you want. And I was like, sweet. So that's how I got back here. Yeah, and then I met Jimmy on the beach, like,
yeah,
that
so
first
tell
week.
us more about that. I don't think I've even heard these stories.
We met in the stinger nets, in the jellyfish net.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
That is so Port Douglas
I
coded.
know,
love
it is. That's how you know it wasn't wet season. Yeah, it was really funny actually. I was thinking about it the other day. We don't have a date where we like started like date. We just came into each other's lives. We knew, and that was that. Yeah, and it was like sometimes we're like, oh, we should have a date. We're like, we don't really know.
Just pick one.
Yeah, it's when you know or something.
Absolutely.
There was never any
Yeah.
any question about it, and then it was funny because. The second time we met, sort of, because, when you're on the beach, it's kind of hard to get each other's number.
Oh, of course.
And then the second time we met, a lot of our friends that we have now were there. So they remember, which is kind of fun.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's so sweet.
Yeah,
I love that so much. So then you've met Jimmy. You guys are so drawn to each other. Did you just decide, look, I love Port Douglas, I'm going to stay here? Did you have a time frame on how long you were going to stay in Port Douglas
No,
for?
well, I had that whole year pretty much still. So I thought, I wanted to stay in Port because I really liked it here. Like, you never know when you travel, you can change your mind very easily.
Course, yeah.
But I also committed to that job, and
Yeah.
I wanted to do that. But I still think it was the 6 months sort of period that you could work for one employer on that visa.
Yeah.
So I knew, like, I was definitely going to do the 6 months here. But then, the longer you stay in this town,
Yeah.
the more people you meet, and the more, I don't know, it just gets into your bones, I guess.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there's a sense of homeliness.
It is, and I
here,
feel it was always
yeah.
like the good thing about Port is like it's like island life, but
Yeah.
you have all the perks of the mainland.
Yes.
I think that is like how I always felt about Port. Traveled a bit, and then I thought, well, this is really like one of those remote kind of island feelings.
Yeah.
But
you're still an hour away from the city.
I
if
know.
You really needed
it's
anything.
really
Yeah.
great. If it doesn't matter what age you are, but there's so much opportunity here.
Oh yeah.
You're coming from Europe, there's so many people.
Yeah.
So a lot of things are like been there, done that.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to get into anything in Australia. Literally, the world is your oyster. Like
Yeah.
there, you can pretty much start anything you want.
Yeah. Particularly in the tourism industry here in Port Douglas, there's so many opportunities.
There's so much.
Because we are at the heart of the Great Barrier Reef and the Daintree rainforest, as well as the beautiful tableland. So,
And it's a very,
Yeah.
and people from over the world come here.
oh, for sure.
So yeah, I definitely think even if you want to start anything like my little business, you can do it.
Yeah.
Like anyone can do it.
Yeah.
I think if you commit to it and you think like, okay, this is what I want to do, because I feel when you do decide to move to a different country, it's like you do have to reinvent a little bit of yourself.
Yeah.
Because what you might have been doing back home, you're in a totally different, you're in a different country, like
sure.
a totally different climate,
Speaking
with
another
everything's
language.
And I did feel like I definitely stayed for love. I did.
Yeah.
But I also thought I really need to build my life here. I can't put that on Jimmy. I need to, find something for me that I really enjoy doing. And I thought this was just going to be a hobby. I
Yeah.
never thought it would turn into a business.
Yeah. So like, tell us about how that all started. So you've gone from the tourism industry to how did you
Yeah.
suddenly start your own business
Yeah.
making headwear?
Well, it wasn't planned really,
Yeah.
because I went home just for a trip for just a couple of weeks. Jimmy he came with me, I think, and you have to sort your stuff out because you live with one leg here, one leg there. I think that's very a familiar feeling for a lot of people, I think, especially in the beginning, because you've got all your stuff there, you've got stuff here, so every single time I still do it when I come home.
I still do it. My mum lives 20 minutes away.
Yeah, exactly. You have to go through your stuff. And my mum really, she keeps a lot. She holds on to things, which is great.
Yeah.
And she used to go to lots of like festivals and was always very on the trends.
Yeah.
And back in those days, so it was like, would have been like the 70s, she has this big box, colorful round box, and all the accessories she has, they're in there. And we were going through this box because it was really cool, like necklaces and jewelry. We were just kind of, Mom was like, oh, look what I found, you know, you're like going through it like that. And she pulled out this headband, and I was, first I didn't know what it was, because it was like a velvety thing with a wire in it, and it wasn't as long, and I was like, Mom, what is this? She was like, oh yeah, we used to wear it like this, and it would like stick out, and it was like really cool, and like, oh. And then I sort of tried on, I'm like, yeah, don't really like how it sticks out, but I could tuck it in, but it was a bit too short for that. And I thought, because I've got really fine hair, and for me, anything with an elastic, it slips off, or if I have to tie it, it sort of never sits quite right, but I love that look. Especially being here, it's tropical. You want your hair off your face.
Always,
it's hot.
To get your hair
and I
off
thought,
your
whoa,
face.
that's a good idea. And I used to go to a sewing class with my grandma, so I knew the basics. So she taught me. I had like, you know, one of those grandmas that would sit at the kitchen table. She would sew. She would bake cakes, like proper grandma style.
Love it. Very similar to my grandma as well. Miss her. Cute.
And she taught me that skill. And you know, when you're younger, I was probably 13, whatever at the time, but you just remember. It's wild. Like, and I was like, I actually, thinking about it, I got back here, I took it with the idea of like, oh, I'm going to make one just for me. And I went to, but I was like, oh, I need a sewing machine. Anyway, looked on Gumtree at the time. And there was a lady, and she lived between Port and Mosman. And she had one for sale, like I think it was $50 or something. So I said to Jimmy, let's go get it. And we got it, and she was super nice, and she was like, oh, you can just have it, which is, you know, that says something about the community here. Like, so many people are like that. It's crazy. It's so nice. And she was like, just have it, I got a new one, you know, you do you. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. It was so nice. Anyway, went back. We lived in, you know, how you said you lived in a shared house with all the boys. That was me too.
Oh, fantastic.
So I would sit there like in the middle of everything, like sewing, and I made one. I was like, yeah, this works. You know, I found it took me a while I didn't have the right wire in the beginning, because now I work with a really high grade bendable wire. But anyway, I just made sort of like a try walk up, and I was like, hey, this really works. And everyone was like, hey, that's cool. And then I had friends who were like, hey, can you make me one? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I was just, you know, doing that, and made a few, and then I thought, hey, Port Douglas markets, maybe I should.
Maybe that's my thing.
Well, I was on there before at the markets with other stuff. I did, like, I need to show you this.
I never knew this. What?
I had this really old, we found this, like, on the back road here. There was this really old abandoned shopping trolley, and it has, like, the bottom was missing, and I put like a shelf on it, and that's how I put my stuff in there. And I used to walk from the boathouse to the market.
Wow.
I've got a picture of it. I'll send it to you.
Oh my gosh, I need that.
And I did like little I used to crochet like bikinis, but it wasn't sustainable because it took me way too long to make stuff, and I didn't really find my thing until I got the headbands. Anyway, I made like 25, I think, and got on the market. They're all gone before 11 o'clock, and I thought, oh, wow, okay, this might be something. And that's sort of rolled into market stall, that rolled into a website, and then you guys came along, and then wholesale. So and that's, but for a long time I'd still work, like I worked for Jai for a long time, and I did the market still as sort of like an extra. And then as like years went on, I was able to do a full time. But it grew like that. Sort of
so organically. Well, this is what I was just saying on another episode the other day about, you know, you find this maybe not necessarily a big problem, but, you know, girls wanting to keep the hair out of their face is a pretty, you know, common thing up here in particular. And finding that niche of something that people really need is so fantastic, because it just, you know, you do end up growing so organically.
And you also being at the market and talking to people, you know, everybody's head's different, everybody's hair is different. A lot of like what's not really talked about a lot, but I think is very important to mention. I think it is a bit more to the forefront now because a lot of companies are making serums and supplements, but it's hair loss, especially amongst women. So many people struggle with that. Like, I had no idea that it was on that, and it could be for any reason. Stress, treatment, alopecia, can't find a reason, but it's thinning over time. And I feel with the wire especially, it really doesn't matter if you have thick hair, thin hair. If you want to wear it over a week, you can, because it's sort of like a free size. You customize it to the size that you really need it for.
Absolutely. And I always say to people that come in here to try them on too that I get bad headaches and stuff, and I've never ever gotten a headache wearing your headbands. I think because you can maneuver them with the wire, it's not elastic pressing on your head all day. You can bend it enough that it's just sitting there and it's not causing any pressure, so it's not making your hair loss any worse.
Exactly.
It's
and
fantastic.
I think that's the thing, and it's good, and I'm so grateful for you ladies, because you show people how to do it, and you don't have to do it tight. Like, don't do it tight. You don't have to. It will stay on your head, I promise you. Like, there's girls that do yoga with it. They hang upside down and it still stays. Like, and I think that's like sort of how it also became a bit more meaningful for me, because if you get someone that's insecure about anything and they walk away with just like a little bit more like, a little bit more secure, they're a bit more, like confidence,
self-esteem,
like that's worth it.
Oh, for sure. And I always take my hat off to hairdressers for the same reason too.
100%.
You always instantly think about the aesthetics, but honestly,
how
it's
it makes
the confidence
you feel.
and it's the internal self-esteem and the joy that it brings. And it can change your whole day or your life essentially.
I think so too. And I think that's the beauty of it, and I didn't really realize that as much at the time. I thought it was more for like a hobby, sort of extra, do something for like that I really like doing. But it's really nice if you can make people feel that way. It's special. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah.
I feel like 2020 was such a blur when I opened Maker. So
yeah, it was.
Do you remember? Like, I remember reaching out to you and not knowing you, because I knew Tash, because obviously I went to school with Tash's sister Jen. And I knew that you two were friends, and I'd obviously seen you on socials and at the market. But I think I just went, oh, this girl's cool, I'll just message her and see. And I hadn't even opened Maker yet, I don't think.
No, because it was, you were like, I knew your mom a little bit from the footy, because Jim used to play for the Crocs. So I knew your mom a little bit. I didn't know you in person. Sure, we've met before. But I remember, because, that was a year. Yeah, it was wild. Like, I think especially, we were talking about that before, but like you talking that with your mom as well. Like, we were really lucky here.
Oh, for sure.
Very, very lucky where we were.
Yeah.
And for us, we had that lockdown for like 3 months, I think, when we couldn't do markets, we couldn't do this, and like that was hard. And it was hard, like, because Jimmy and I were overseas when it happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we went to see my sister in South Africa, and my mom and dad came too, so we all met there.
Yeah, right.
And we went to, and it was Jimmy's 30th birthday in March, and we went to Mauritius because it's close to South Africa. Yeah. Just the two of us. And I remember before we went, it was like, oh, there's something out there. If you've been to like 3 countries, make yourself known. But it wasn't a big thing at all. Yeah. At the time, so it escalated so quickly.
We were in New Zealand, and there was all the memes and the jokes about coronas, like the corona memes were going around, and we were all just joking about it. And it wasn't until we got home we went, oh my god, we're really lucky to be home.
Get back. And I remember, like, it was Tash that was messaging me, and she was like, you need to get back right now, because you're going to be like locked out. And I was like, and we were like, what are you talking about? Like, we were kind of in the bush, not really, very naive, so naive about it. And then we were very lucky to get, because we'd never in a million years thought that they would close borders or stop flying. I remember my mom saying before we all went on this trip, because we were always like, oh, hopefully it happens, nobody gets sick, nothing happens, like that. Yeah. And my mom was like, oh, this virus, I don't know, it made me a bit nervous. What if they like stop flying? And I said to my mom, don't be ridiculous. Like, are you kidding me? You're really like overthinking this. Know. Sorry, mom. But yeah, and then, because when we arrived in South Africa, there was no cases there, nothing. And by the time we left because we had to go from Mauritius back to Johannesburg back to Australia, and we left like a day before each country closed their borders. So we left Mauritius, they closed the borders. We left South Africa, closed the borders. We got back, Australia closed the borders. In hindsight, we were so lucky, but we didn't really realize the scale of it like a lot of people didn't. But then you got back home, and then it was when they closed the borders, we all went like, shh.
Wow.
You know, also having, you know, my whole family's overseas.
Exactly.
And it was like, Australia's not going to open the borders till 2025 at one stage.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, wait, what? That's 5 years.
The fear that they instilled in everyone was next level, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was like, and there's just no way. Like now, you know, yes, I live on the other side of the world comparison to where I'm from, but if something really happens, I can get on the flight tonight to Singapore, I'll be home the next day. Yeah. It's possible. Yeah. But the feeling that you can't is not something I thought I'd ever had to deal with. So, and then, you know, the market was always a good focus point for me, kept me busy, you know, aside of my own work or the other things I did, but that was really my sort of therapy, happy place. Oh, for sure. But then they were like, no more markets, and I was like, oh, and well, Jimmy used to drive monsoon, so that was also coming to a halt because no tourism. So we were like, oh, and then I got the message, and you were like, hey, I'm Ray. We're thinking about opening a shop. Do you want to be part of it?
Did you just think, this chick is insane?
I was like, I think my first initial thought was like, oh, thank God, it's something that I can like work, you know, like, and it was like the feeling like you really wanted community, like what you were saying, but it was very hard to, you know, and everybody was very scared in the beginning. Like you would like walk around like, oh.
At the same time, you know, if you've listened to the other episode of my mum and I, we were probably in the best place in the country.
In the world, maybe. Yeah. Like I think in hindsight. Yeah,
because we had, you know, we are a very spread out kind of town as well. Like there's a lot of people that live on acreage. We're not all in each other's pockets. No. But we have a really wonderful community that really band together. Yeah. We were saying, like in the other episode, that obviously people could still travel within Queensland, and we figured, well, if you can't go to Bali, then you'll probably come, you know, to the tropics because it's the closest thing you can get. All that sort of thing.
Yeah, but it was still, I think, very brave from your mum and from you, definitely, is that you still put the effort in, you still took a big risk, because at that time,
naivety.
I don't know, but it was also like, this can go two ways. We were like, everything's going to collapse, or we're going to like sort of thrive up here. Yeah. Luckily, the latter happened, but... At the time, nobody knew that. So, and I just remember it like, it probably wasn't like that, but it was like, I got the email or message, maybe on Instagram, I don't know. Yeah. And I think I sort of ran into you on Grand Street with you and your mom, and I sat down and I was like, oh, this is really like, and I don't know, there was like a feeling of like trust and like, okay, this can be like a really wonderful thing for, you know, like the maker, the creator, sort of, to have a space where you're like valued, where you can come together. And I think, hats off to you.
Oh, thank you.
And your mom.
I feel like it was so organic in that sense too, because my mum has always instilled in us, like, and my dad, like, hats off to them, because they are such giving people. Like they've always they drop everything for other people. Like they really just go and like renovate people's houses, or they go and help people move, or like they just do stuff. So I guess my brother and I have always been helpers, and so we saw this like, oh no, everyone's panicking, how can we help? Like it was really like as basic as that. And it wasn't even like, as like we've said many times, it's never for money, still is not for money, you know, it's just for the love. And
it was also like a feeling of like, I think we sat down and we met, and then it was like, you know, people can talk the talk, but you were like, right, the lease signed, the shop's going in, and I was like, whoa, these people are really making this happen, you know. It was all like action, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I think
absolutely.
We were all at the time, definitely me too, everybody was like overthinking things a little bit. Yeah. Whereas you guys were like, we've got this. Yeah. Sort of, and still in this shop too, was also in the other shop, you walk in, you're like, you can sit here on the couch and you can really tell, like, say how you feel or how your day really was. Well, it's true.
That's like the highest compliment for me.
Well,
so
I
thank
think
you.
it's really, and it's like you guys are like the people. Like if it's a fan, you know, and you call you your mom, you know, they're gonna help, or they're gonna if it's just something small or something big.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't, and I still don't have any family here except Jimmy and Lua, of course. But just to have that safety net, that's worth everything.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people will have that same feeling.
And I think it's just so. I mean, in general, it's so important to support one another, but to also have those common interests. Like for me, I'm like, oh, I have my friends I grew up with. I have Marley and I's friends, but I also have my work friends now, which mostly feel like family, you know, which is so beautiful as well. So
it is.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's really, it's nice to like rehash all of that because
you don't really think about it, do you?
Such a blur that I mean, I was 18 when I was doing it, and it's so odd. Like I meet 18-year-olds now, and I'm like, God, like
maybe I think you were like you had, but I think it's also like I was thinking about that too. When I was that age, it was like, but it was for that generation, your generation, those what is it, 2-3 years, even like a little bit after that year. You wouldn't just grab your backpack and go traveling because you couldn't. So you had to make the most.
Yeah.
And I think you use that time frame in such a positive way.
Well, that's exactly right.
Which is that's like
I knew that, like, because obviously I was very much like you, like in you saying like traveling, and I had such a bug. Like I think I think I got to do like 7 countries or something in just my high school life, which I'm so grateful for because some people haven't even been overseas. So I'm very grateful again to my parents. But being able to travel, I had that bug and I was so excited. And then obviously I moved away, I did my degree, and then I was like, that's it, I'm out, I'm going, I'm so excited, we're going to travel. And then the world was like, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
And I was like, well, shit, if this is going to be a few years, I've got to do something proactive in between.
Yeah, and positive.
Because I'm not sitting around here going, I can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm a bit like you. I need almost a little happy distraction as well sometimes, just to be like, well, let's just
turn out pretty
teeth.
good. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So you've had Lana Nas Studio for how many years now?
10. Well, like how it's...
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, how it's been like now with the headbands.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, because I was the year before, I was already at the market with other stuff, but that was not really the studio as it is now, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, it's been 10 years.
So what have you felt has changed the most in the 10 years? Obviously, you've got Lua now.
Yeah.
Gorgeous, the most beautiful little darling in the world.
Yeah.
Lana's daughter, Lua.
She's 2 already.
2.
Yeah.
Insane.
And it does really change when you have, when the little ones come along.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's, it's such a special time, and I really want to enjoy it with her while she's little.
Oh, for sure.
Yep. So, you do spend your time differently. Whilst, before I had Lou, I would sit in the studio probably 8 hours of the day. Yeah. I would go for a big walk, and then I would come and I would sit in the studio the whole day making stuff, sewing stuff. So sometimes a little bit hard when you have, like, you're probably the same. Your brain is just like, you want to do this and that, and you have so many ideas, but now I just don't have the time to do everything. So I gotta pick and choose it a bit more, but that's fine. But yeah, definitely like the wire headbands I think will always be the staple, and then we're sort of expanding from there into like other accessories, and we're doing the workshop now, and it's always like when we're like able to travel a bit more again, like that's I think where I get really inspired often, and that's sort of how I keep coming up with other stuff and new things to do. That's like that was a really good thing as well when we traveled more in the earlier days, because I didn't realize so many countries have like they have a fabric that's really special to their culture. And you know it with food and everything, but like it's the same with fabric. Like there's so many cultures and countries out there, and they have their fabric, like 100% linen from like Italy,
of course,
is made, or batik from Indonesia, or the waxy Swiss fabric from Africa, like, and that's I didn't realize that in the beginning, but then you start traveling and you're like, hey, hang on a minute, that's really cool. Like, and it sort of tells the story of their culture. So that's, for me, a really nice way to sort of get inspired by things.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, you don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over again. I think it's very important to try out different avenues, even if it doesn't work. Like your mom said, you gotta give it a go. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Sure. It's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm kind of in that phase where I'm like, you know, dipping my toes into other things. Yeah, which is cool. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
If people are listening and they are looking for your gorgeous goodies, where could you point them?
Probably my Instagram, Lana Nas Studio, and then we have a new website with a lot of videos, like tutorials how to do it.
Yeah.
You know, because it's wet season at the moment, so put a lot of time in like the stock online. Then you've got the full range 100% up to date here.
Yeah.
So when people are in town and they want to try it in person,
absolutely, we try and keep as many as possible.
Yeah, and like the new collection, I made that yesterday, the first one, so you'll have that.
And so some of the other things Lana's been making that us girls are just a bit obsessed with at the moment. We just used them in a photo shoot the other day. These wicked bandana necklaces. As well as your sarongs and your like bandanas.
Yeah.
And you've got some beautiful new like other necklaces as well, like shell necklaces.
Yeah, I made a few shell necklaces. Also, I always try to incorporate some sort of fabric into it. Yeah. So because I feel that's kind of my staple a little bit. Yeah, or it's really nice layered, or something that you can wear with the bandana, or just a plain bandana, you know, the squares. I don't know if you've seen that, where you like roll it up and you put like a chunky ring on them. It's really cute, and then you can layer it. So like the possibilities are endless, which sometimes makes it hard too, because you have like 1,000 ideas, but you got to stick to your course.
But I think it's really lovely that like a lot of your products, a lot of people can put their own spin on them. Yeah, so you can make it yours. Definitely, you personalize them.
Yeah, you can like, and that's I think the nice thing about the versatility is like you can wear the bandana necklaces as a bracelet, you can wear it as an anklet, you can you know, and the same with the headbands, you can wear them 1,000 different ways. You can tie it on the knot, you can turn it around, you can wrap it in a big scrunchie like this. And I think that's nice because it's not, the product is not really, or like how I don't want to be like anyone else, or like you know, you want to be your own individual with the at least the opportunity to wear what you want and how you want it, and how you like it.
You as a maker aren't going to feel like the whole town's dressed the same too, and it's probably lovely for you to go, oh my goodness, how cool that you styled that in that way. I haven't thought of that. Yeah. I
had one of our friends, Lonnie, you know, that does the music. She got two and she twisted them together and put it on, and it looked wicked.
Brilliant.
And it's like so, and it's the same at the market. Yeah. Some girls are like, oh, let me do this, and they go, and it looks amazing. Like it's just really fun. It's a fun way to, you know, don't be scared to try something that is new or you haven't seen it before. I think that's what it's all about. It's like you be you, you do you. As long as you like it, don't worry about anyone else.
So to wrap things up today, our lovely listeners can obviously find Lana Nas Studio in here at Maker and on our website. But if they are looking for you elsewhere, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram, Lana Nas Studio. The website's up, lananascollective.com. And or come in the store. Find us here. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us
today. Thank you for having me. It was really nice.
I feel like you and I could talk for
forever.
Days.
Yeah.
But we will wrap up here. But I would love to have you on again throughout the year, because I think you have so many stories to be told.
Yeah, I'd love to.
But we will see you guys at the beading workshop tonight if you're coming along.
I'm gonna set that up now. Gonna bake some breads.
Yeah. Oh, yum. Lana's for car shop. Yum. You should just sell that. That's amazing. But anyway, thank you so much. If you're not following already, please hit that button. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend, and we will be in your ears very soon. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you for listening.